Hi everyone, this is Cheryl and welcome to my sewing room. I'm going to demonstrate how to take a store-bought tablecloth and add a decorative border to it. It also helps to add a little length to your tablecloth if it's too short. I'll also give you some suggestions for embellishing the matching cloth napkins and a few embellishing suggestions for the matching kitchen towels. So let's get started. This is the table runner and towels that I have selected. They're part of the Pioneer Woman group of things that you can buy for your home. She has a lot of kitchen items because she is a well-known cook on television. And by the way, my husband just loves her. He watches her show all the time. The problem that I have with ready-made table runners is they're not always big enough. I have a really large dining table and they just barely hang over the edge for me. Also, I want to add more personality to this. This is already a really cute country pattern on here, but I'm going to add a large border to it just to make it look more rich, and also it will cover my table a lot better. The kitchen towels is something that also coordinates with it. So I want to take the towels and just spice them up a little bit so that everything works together. I'm also going to show you a really simple embellishment to put on the fabric napkins. Here's the towel all opened up so you can see what it looks like. Now it's very, very colorful. Now the other kitchen towel that came with it was just red polka dot. So I wanted to transfer this red polka dot to this flower kitchen towel. So I bought red polka dot ribbon, and I'm going to show you how to take it from very plain to very decorative. So I'll show you how to put this ruffle and ribbon on. It takes about 10 minutes to do. Now, there's a lot of yellow in this one, so I've decided to put some yellow on this one. So I found some wide ribbon, and I'm going to cut it about an inch wider on each side. So leave about an inch overhang on each side. So go ahead and trim it off. Now take your ruffle trim. And by the way, my ribbons and this ruffle trim were all purchased at Walmart. Not all Walmart stores have a sewing and craft area, but you can go on walmart.com and purchase all of these items and have them shipped to your local store, Walmart store, for free, or you can also have it shipped to your home at a cost. Now this ruffle is it's by Simplicity, and the ribbon is Ofre. Okay, so now take your ruffle and put it underneath the ribbon, and you're going to place the edge of the ribbon right about there. It goes in about 1/4 of an inch. And then, now I don't pin this on, I just hold it in place and begin stitching. And you're going to stitch real close to the edge of the ribbon, and of course use matching thread. After you stitch the ruffle on one side of the ribbon, then go ahead and stitch it on the other side of the ribbon. And this is what it looks like on the back. Now at each end, fold it over, maybe 3/8 of an inch, no more than 1/2 inch. So you want to do that at each end, and then stitch along the fold. Place the ribbon border across the towel, and I've brought mine about 2 inches above the end of the towel. You could place this all the way down at the bottom if you like. Then on each side, fold the ribbon over a little bit around each side, and of course pin it down. Continue placing pins across. Then on each side of the ribbon, you're going to stitch real close to the edge of that ribbon all the way across. And when you're done with both towels, you can see you have a nice coordinated set of towels that work really well together. The napkin embellishment is really, really simple. At opposite ends of the napkin, I stitched a narrow strip of ribbon and each one has a different color, doesn't necessarily match the napkin. So you could put matching ribbon. So if you wanted to do red on red or yellow on yellow, that's up to you. But this is just a suggestion, but I really like how it turned out. This is the table runner before I have done anything to it. I'm going to demonstrate how to add a simple border to give it just a little more personality. When you're looking at the table runner, if you turn it over, it's got a narrow hem on it. Now you have a couple of choices here. You could undo this hem and press it out, but you're probably never going to be able to get all of those creases out of it. Or you can take the lazy way, because I don't feel like undoing all of this, is just line your ruler up along the edge, and with a rotary cutter, you could use scissors if you wanted to, just trim the edges off all the way around. The tablecloth that I purchased is 120 inches long, so that I don't have to cut small pieces of fabric and stitch them together to make them long enough. I actually bought fabric that's a little bit longer than 120 inches. Right now it's still folded selvage edges together, and that's how I want it. Normally when I'm cutting fabric for different projects, I'm cutting from the folded edge towards the selvages. I'm going to do just the opposite now. I'm going to first cut my selvage edges off, and then I'm going to cut strips, very long strips all the way down. I'm going to leave it folded. Therefore, I can cut two at a time. So I'm going to cut my longest edge first. I've just cut the selvage edges off. So now I'm going to cut a border that's 5.5 inches wide. It's going to be about 4 inches wide when it's finished, so I added an additional 1.5 inches for hemming and seam allowance. So I'm putting my 5.5 inch line on my ruler on the raw edge along here, and I'll just keep moving it along as I cut. I've just finished cutting out the two longest strips for the longest side of the tablecloth. I've now measured the two shorter ends of the tablecloth, and they came out to about a little over 58 inches wide. I'm going to need to cut those strips more than 58 inches because they need to be long enough to go along that edge and then down the side of the border on the other two edges. And you'll see what that means as I go along. So what I need to do now is cut out two strips that are 72 inches, and way down there at the other end, you can't see it, I have a pin and I have marked where I need to stop cutting. So I'm going to cut them out again, 5.5 inches wide, and cut out two more strips. On the two longest sides of your tablecloth, take your border strip and you're going to place it front side down. And go ahead and pin and stitch anywhere from 1/2 inch to 5/8 of an inch. Now I chose 5/8 because I'm going to run this through a serger. If you don't have a serger, then go ahead and do a zigzag stitch along that edge. After you've got it done, go ahead and press the seam on the back side and press it on the front. Now you're going to trim this end off to where it's even with the tablecloth fabric. So go ahead and line it all up. Make sure it's nice and straight, and then go ahead and trim this off. So you're going to do this at all four corners. Now it's time to stitch the border on the two shorter ends. So think back to the part of this video where we were cutting the border strips. Try and recall that I said you needed not to only just measure the width of each of the shorter ends, but you also need to take into account this border fabric here, because it's extending out now about another 5 inches on each side. So I actually cut mine about 2 inches longer than all of this added up. So you take the total of this shorter end of the tablecloth, the width at each end of the border, add a couple of more inches, and that's how long you're going to cut your strips. Go ahead and pin and stitch your strips on, and you're going to again run your edges through the serger. And when you're laying out this border strip, always have a little bit left over at each end hanging out. Then go ahead and press your edges, press it all nice and flat. Take your ruler and you're going to trim this strip to where it's even with the side of your runner. And here's my rotary cutter, and trim it off. Do this at all four corners. Now it's time to hem the edges. If you have a rolled hem presser foot, you can use that to do your hem. If you don't, here's a simple way to do that. Just fold this corner in like this, folding the corner in this way, and press it with your iron. And you're folding it over, not quite an inch. Then take this edge over here and fold it over 1/4 of an inch and press it with your iron. Go all the way down the end. Fold it over again and press. Then go ahead and stitch on this inside fold line all the way down. You're doing that also on the opposite side. Then to do this edge at each end, you're going to fold over 1/4 of an inch, press, fold over again 1/4 of an inch and press, and then stitch on that inside fold all the way down. When you're done doing your hem, this is what your corners should look like, and this is what it looks like on the back. For more table linen projects to sew, go to the very end of this video where you will see a green screen and click on the links. If you enjoyed this video, please click on thumbs up. Also, click on share to share this video with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click on that red subscribe button down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Don't forget to enter your email address and click on that little bell notification so that you receive emails about my latest video. I'm Cheryl. I'm so glad you came to my sewing room. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing!